Welcome to Pittsburgh. I'm kind of having a crazy hair day. This week is gonna be different from last week. My weeks are dependent on the type of animal that I'm watching. Last week when I was in Cleveland, I had a cat. Cats are relatively low maintenance. You just need to make sure they have food and water, scoop their litter, and then make sure they get some scratches. But for the most part, they don't want you to be around them, which is totally fine by me. This week I do have a medically fragile dog, which means I need to stick around most of the day, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, when you think about it, I need some downtime too. Even though I'm living this different kind of lifestyle, I still need to have days where maybe I don't leave the house except to go on our walk, or, you know, just kind of lay down and take a nap, or, well, I actually don't really nap anymore, but you know what I mean. Like, I can't be going and doing every single day. My video this week is gonna look a little different than last week's because I'm not gonna be going on quite nearly as many adventures. The dog that I'm sitting for, his name is Jagger, and literally all I can think about is Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, and then that song by, I think it's Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger. He doesn't move like Jagger. Oh my gosh, seriously, what is going on with this? I'm just gonna embrace it. So I thought I would do kind of a day in the life. Like, what does my day look like when I'm dog sitting and I kind of can't go anywhere? A little over a month ago, I picked up a remote job. So in the mornings, I literally wake up 3 minutes before my shift starts because I'm not on camera. I don't have to talk to people. I'm just gonna be on my computer. So it gives me just enough time to roll out of bed, stretch, and boot up my computer. I'll usually work for a few hours until I go in and I wake Jagger up. He gets up around 9:30 and needs to go out right away. So I am able to take a 1 hour lunch break at any time during my shift. So I kind of just wait for him to get up, and then as soon as he's ready to go, he's ready to go. I mean, they've got a bell at the front door that he goes and he nudges when he's ready to leave. It's actually kind of funny. And then we'll go on our walks around the neighborhood. I've seen a little bit of Pittsburgh. It's very hilly. That's not something I was really prepared for, but that's okay because that gives me time to get my steps in, even though he is a very slow walker. Has like one of those like Costco industrial size strollers. She said to bring it with me on their walks because Jagger, he is a bull terrier. He is very stubborn and he's also very old. She thinks he's between 10 and 12 years old. She's not really sure because he is a rescue. He'll go on his walk and he'll make it a couple blocks away and then he'll just stop, and he's heavy. So she said, just be sure, take the stroller with you, and I've had to use it every day. So usually by the time that we're done with Jagger's walk, I come in and I cook him breakfast. I've noticed with the older dogs that I sit for, I am cooking their meals. Once he is set to go, I then usually will fix myself a mid-morning snack because I usually eat breakfast while I'm waiting for him to get up. And this is usually the time where he will sleep for a solid, 4 or 5 hours while I'm finishing up working. And then once I'm finished with my shift, I usually will do some admin stuff. Like right now, I am coordinating with my next house sit, and then I'm also booking a couple things for the following one because I will be going out of the country again, and I'm very excited about that. So figuring out like visas, what I'm going to be doing. I will have a little bit of play time. So what do I want to do? And also kind of figuring out how that's going to work with my work schedule. Yesterday was my first full day with just me and Jagger. And so after work, I spent some time kind of going through the fridge, going through the cupboard, trying to see what ingredients I had to work with because I needed to go grocery shopping. Very fortunate in that the people that I've sat for these past few months have been very gracious. They have opened their homes to me to take care of their pets, but they've also said, help yourself to anything we have in the fridge, anything that we have in the cupboards, please help yourself, which is so nice. And then some of them go beyond that and they ask me ahead of time, what do you like to eat? I'd love to put some food in my fridge for you, which to be honest, took me a little bit of time before I was comfortable with answering that question because my initial response to that is, don't worry about that. Like, I'll take care of it. I'm a big, strong girl. I'm independent. Obviously, I didn't tell them that part. I didn't want them to have to worry about it. And it took me some time before I was able to realize I get to stay in their house for free. I am doing these people a big favor by taking care of their pets while they are gone. Them buying me a few groceries or them taking me out to dinner is one of the ways that they can say thank you. And I need to let them do that with all the love in the world. This one in particular, I'd let her know that I've been craving salads and fruits and veggies. And most people ask if I drink coffee or what my favorite tea is. And so I've learned to say that Dr. Pepper is my caffeine of choice. People are just so generous. Let me show you. So she got me some plums. Here's some Dr. Peppers. These grapes, these are the cotton candy grapes. They're super expensive and delicious. Some blueberries that I love to put in oatmeal. Some stuff for the dog. She got me some eggs, which I love. And then tons of veggies. I've got radishes, tomatoes, carrots, cucumbers, a couple salad kits, which is super nice. Some bread and bagels for lunches because she bought me some meat and cheese and some cream cheese. I mean, just the most thoughtful people. Oh, can't forget the happy drawer. I won't be drinking these, but these ones I will. And some Pepsis. I do my best to eat the things that people have provided for me. I am so grateful because it saves me so much money and also helps me out when I come to a new place. Even though I'm so comfortable bouncing from house to house to house, from different situations to new towns. I've never been to Pittsburgh before. I don't know what type of grocery stores they have here. Having that little bit of food security coming into a sit is so helpful in helping me get settled. But I do need to go to the grocery store and pick up a few supplemental items. It does take me a day or two to really kind of settle in, see what they have, and then figure out what my meal plan is going to be for the next few days. Obviously, I do try to go and sample some of the local cuisine this time because I am going to try to spend as much time home as I possibly can. I do want to get a few extra groceries. You want to go outside? No? You want to snooze? Okay. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a really sweet dog, but he is just kind of like a cute, grumpy old man that's very stubborn. So I do have to take him out to potty quite a bit. He does have kidney issues, which means that he gets thirsty a lot. So he drinks a ton of water, which means he has to go outside a lot. So that's why when he's awake in the morning and the evening, usually when I am not working, that's when he needs to go in and out quite a bit. So that's why I can't go and do a lot during the week. You need to go outside, huh? Okay. Here we go. Hold on. Gotta put a lead on him because he can just kind of hang out in the front yard for a bit. He likes to bake in the sun every now and then once he empties himself out. But he does just kind of stand there a lot, just look at everything. I'm sure if he could talk, he would be one of those "get off my lawn" people. But I'll leave him out here for a bit so he can do his business and make myself a little lunch. Okay, so for lunch, I toasted one of the bagels that she bought for me with some Munster cheese and some turkey. And I have these like elote corn chip dippers from Trader Joe's that I bought in Cleveland. Because if I'm not traveling by plane, I will try to take things that I purchase with me just to save money. And I know that I like it. And so I'm probably gonna put a few on the sandwich just for crunch because I'm not normally a huge sandwich person. This is gonna be delicious. And then go to the grocery store because I brought Jagger back in, so he should be good for another couple of hours. Put my hair up for lunch because I don't want to eat my hair, and I totally forgot. So because Jagger has kidney issues and because he drinks a lot of water, he takes in a lot of air, so I have to burp him. Poor thing. There's a couple pats on the side of the belly and he full on belches. It's sweet, it's sad, but it's kind of funny. He's fine. It happens to the best of us. I wish somebody would burp me every now and then. Oh, bye-byes. He's just gonna watch me eat now. I almost forgot tomorrow's trash day, so while I let Jagger out to go potty, I am going to take out the recycling. I have to keep this brick on it because raccoons. I don't want to deal with that. This is how he tells me he's ready to go in. You ready? So awkward. Okay, go inside. You can go inside. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. So one of the things I think we take for granted when we're home is our grocery store. So when you're home, you know which grocery store to go to for certain things. You know what to expect. You know who has like the specialty items. You know which store to go to find like your favorite things. When you travel, you don't always have access to the same grocery stores or to the same products. And so when I have a place that I know and that I can count on having consistent items, that's usually where I'll shop. And I just found out that there is a Trader Joe's. I won't always have access to Trader Joe's. I know what they have. So I am gonna go to Trader Joe's. Stopped at a stoplight. Also, I would just like to point out how awesome this host is. So when I go to pet sit, people aren't required to leave me a vehicle. A lot of times I don't need one, but I needed one in Georgia. I had to rent one, which was kind of a bummer. But like when I was in Hawaii, I was left a car, and then this one, the dog's mom, like was texting me ahead of time, was like, hey, can you drive stick? And I was like, no, I've tried 3 times to learn over the course of like a decade, can't do it. She ended up switching her car with her sister because her car is a manual transmission. And since I can't drive manual, she made sure that I got one that's automatic. How sweet is that? So this is my first time driving a Subaru. Got me safely to Trader Joe's. I don't have one of those like cold bags, so I'm gonna crank up the AC and hope it keeps some of the frozen stuff cold. Okay, so here's the haul. A couple of frozen things. I love frozen peas and sweet white corn, and then orange chicken. That'll be good for at least 2 meals. And then I like pasta. That's usually an easy thing to make when you're traveling. So I usually get a jar of pasta sauce and I pimp it up with some ground beef, usually some garlic, and this time I grabbed a shallot as well. And my favorite kind of pasta, a dip, and I have a hummus in the fridge because I have chips. I'm a sucker for Rainier cherries, so while they are in season, some lettuce, basil for my pasta, and some more greens. And because I'm traveling all the time, it's always really easy for me to just go out to eat every meal, but that adds up. And so all of these groceries that I bought that will last me at least 5 meals cost about $40 with tons of like snacks and treats. If you go to a restaurant, like a sit down restaurant, you're spending that at least for just 1 meal. If you go to a fast food place, I mean, that's maybe 2 meals. It's usually better, it's healthier for me to cook, and it's usually more economical as well. The hard part is because I am constantly changing locations, I don't always have access to all the oils and spices and ingredients that I usually like to cook with. Making more extravagant meals or dishes is a little bit harder unless I'm in one place for a really long time, and then I can justify buying like a bottle of vinegar that I really love or a huge thing of whatever. So when I'm here in places for just like a week, pasta is usually the way to go. I do like to make my own pasta sauce, but it's cheaper for me just to buy the bottle and pimp that up rather than do it from scratch. And I will say that I do try to get to the farmer's market when it makes sense. In Georgia, I was able to go, and in Hawaii, I was able to go, and also in Wisconsin, just because I was there long enough over a weekend. In like Cleveland, I arrived on a Monday, farmer's market wasn't until Saturday, and then I left on Monday. So I do try to support local when I can and when it makes sense. Now that I'm home, I'll finish putting everything away. Dog's gotta go out, and then we'll start our evening routine together. This is how he tells me he's hungry. He's literally standing at his dinner plate, so I'm gonna get his dinner ready. 1.5 scoops of this like dehydrated vegetables and oats mix with about the same amount of semi-cooked rice. This is stuff that his mom prepared for him. A pump of fish oil. I'm gonna microwave 1/2 cup of homemade bone broth that his mom made to kind of like rehydrate everything. So while that's going, I need to grind down his pill because he will not take it. Kinda let it rehydrate while I cook the meat. And the cool thing is that when the pet owners cook the food themselves, they will usually like have everything pre-packaged. I did the same thing in Hawaii and in Singapore. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it's rice, oats, veggies, and meat. But if it's a little too hot, I'll throw it in the freezer in like 20-second increments because I don't want to give hot food to a dog. Oh, he is licking his chops. He's like, okay, is it done yet? Is it done yet? All right, Bubba's, you ready? Here's your dinner. So usually before dinner, I will come downstairs because she has turned her garage into a gym. And it is nuts. She is also an MMA trainer. So she has all sorts of fun punching bags. She's got tons of equipment. She also has a sauna. And then I'm able to just kind of cast a workout or something up to the TV. So I'm usually down here for about half an hour before dinner. Gotta work up that appetite. I'm gonna sneak in a quick workout and then eat dinner. Had a quick dinner because Jagger wouldn't like settle down, and usually that means he's gotta go outside, but he needed to like go outside. And so I couldn't leave while the oven was on. So shoveled down my orange chicken from Trader Joe's real quick, went on a successful walk, and now he is in the stroller because he's done. And I have a couple business meetings tonight, so we're just trying to hoof it back. And of course, he's so stubborn. He wanted to walk downhill first, so now I've got to push him uphill. So I have to go up that hill. Never thought I'd be one of those people that push their dog around in a stroller, but here we are. Both business calls went well, getting things situated. Usually about this time of night, it's almost, it's about 8 o'clock right now. I usually go down into the hot tub that's outside, and it was so nice. Jagger's passed out. It's getting close to his bedtime. He usually sleeps in the master bedroom, but I don't open the door for him until about 8 o'clock just because bull terriers get into trouble. Like, they go looking for trouble. Like, he goes rooting around everywhere trying to tear up everything. So like all the doors in the house are closed, kind of limiting him to a very small space. Hopefully you enjoyed this brief look into what my days are like when I am pet sitting. My days are not the same. They have some structure because I have a job. It varies week to week depending on where I am and what kind of animals I'm sitting for. I'm very fortunate. I picked up dog mom last night from the airport. She is graciously letting me stay at her house for 5 nights. During the week, I don't have too much variation when I have pets that need a little bit extra TLC, but on the weekends I do try to get out and have some adventures. Let me share with you what I got up to in Pittsburgh. Finally able to get out for an adventure in Pittsburgh, and there were a ton of museums that I really want to go see. There was one museum in particular that stood out. So I've been to the National Mustard Museum. I figured it's time to go to the Ketchup Museum. I bought my ticket. It comes with this little pin that I'm supposed to like fold over my shirt. Maybe I need a kid's pass. I can't figure this out. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Orange on my pink shirt. Let's go. great introduction to this museum. Call it Pittsburgh's Hidden History. And honestly, like when I was walking through, I just kept thinking, wow, this is like the most random assortment of things. And I just wasn't really sure about it, but the more I looked, the more it made sense. Some of my favorite things were they had like a milk truck from like 1900. They had the getaway sleigh from the brothers who formed I think it was the chloroform gang in Pittsburgh back in like the early 1900s. They were being chased by the police in 1901 and they were finally captured in 1902, and they had the sleigh that they were trying to get away on. So it's kind of crazy to think that was like the mode of transportation in the winter back in those days. They also have a ton of dresses and clothing from the early 1900s. It's kind of crazy to see how small people were, like just like short and like tiny. Some of my other favorite things include like a display of Worcestershire sauce from the, I think, Lee and Perrins, I can't remember the name of it, company back in like the 1800s, which the Heinz company acquired, I think in 2015, which is probably why it's here. It was a really good introduction to this museum, like this center. There's different floors. I'm actually gonna go check out another awesome display. They have something super nostalgic. I want to show you that. They have a Mr. Rogers neighborhood exhibit. Okay, coolest thing ever. They have a Mr. Rogers neighborhood like exhibit here with all the original set pieces, some of his original clothing, and they have like the Mr. Rogers song playing in the background, which is so nostalgic, and I love it. And they have like the Land of Make-Believe, and they have the big tree, and just so many fun things. That was a super interesting museum center because there are multiple floors with different types of exhibits. Obviously my favorite ones were the Heinz exhibit, and also the Mr. Rogers neighborhood. I also made it to, they have an exhibit called From Slavery to Freedom, which was very moving and very powerful. My main priority when doing these sits obviously is going to be the animals. I want to make sure that I am taking care of the cats and dogs and fish or whatever, but I do like to get out and I do like to explore, and I was feeling like I hadn't had a chance yet to truly experience Pittsburgh. I got the chance this morning going to church and then coming to this Heinz Museum History Center. It is phenomenal. What a fun adventure. So there were a few more things that I wanted to do in Pittsburgh before I left. I'd heard of this sandwich chain called the Primanti Bros, and I really wanted to give it a try. It's a local sandwich shop that was started by some brothers back in the 30s that used to make food for like dock workers and truck drivers, and their signature thing is that they put french fries and coleslaw actually in their sandwiches. It was definitely unique and pretty delicious. Now, something that I just love to do no matter where I am is get really a bird's eye view of the city, especially if it has a really big skyline. People told me I needed to get to one of the inclines, and it took me a while to realize that's what they call viewpoints out here. Pittsburgh has two main inclines, the Monongahela, I think it's how you say it, and the Duquesne, I think is how you say it. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. I went up the Duquesne and I went up at night to see a really spectacular view of the Pittsburgh skyline.
It's shaking a bit, hold on.
And it was kind of funny because it really reminded me of a cross between the cable cars of San Francisco and the Sandia Peak tramway that I rode when I was in New Mexico. And that's it for my time in Pittsburgh. It's been a fun 2 weeks. I've gotten out to see a little bit of the city, but more importantly, I've really gotten to know more of the local culture by talking to a ton of people that have lived here for decades and really getting a feel for this city, again, in a way that I think runs deeper than your average tourist. Tomorrow, the lady that I've been staying with, she's taking me most of the way to my next dog sit where I'll meet her sister, who will then take me the rest of the way. People are just so kind. I just never can get used to the fact fact of how generous people can be. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. See you on the next adventure.